6106. A written test that has reliability? A. Yields consistent results. B. Measures small differences in the achievement of learners. C. Actually measures what it is supposed to measure and nothing else. The correct answer is A. A written test that has reliability is one that yields consistent results. Reliability in the context of testing refers to the consistency or stability of the test scores or measurements over time and across different administrations. It indicates the extent to which the test produces reliable and dependable results. Let's explore this concept further. 1. Consistency. Reliability means that if the same test is administered to the same group of individuals or to the same individual on different occasions, it should yield similar results. In other words, the scores obtained by test takers should be relatively consistent and not vary substantially between test administrations. 2. Precision. A reliable test is precise in its measurements. It should accurately and consistently measure the construct it intends to assess, such as knowledge, skills, or abilities. This means that the test should provide reliable information about the test taker's performance without significant random errors or fluctuations. 3. Internal consistency. One aspect of reliability is internal consistency, which relates to the consistency of scores within the test itself. This is typically measured through techniques like Cronbach's alpha or split-half reliability. If the items within a test are measuring the same construct, they should show high internal consistency, indicating that they are all measuring the same underlying trait or skill. 4. Test-retest reliability. Another aspect of reliability is test-retest reliability, which assesses the consistency of scores when the same test is administered to the same individuals at different points in time. If the test is reliable, the scores obtained by the individuals on different occasions should be highly correlated, indicating stability in their performance. 5. Inter-rater reliability. In cases where the scoring or grading of the test is subjective and involves human judgment, inter-rater reliability becomes important. It refers to the consistency of scores assigned by different raters or examiners. If the test is reliable, different raters should assign similar scores to the same responses or performance. 6. Reliability coefficients. Reliability is often quantified using reliability coefficients such as Cronbach's alpha, intra-class correlation coefficient, ICC, or Cohen's kappa. These coefficients provide a numerical measure of the extent to which the test is reliable. 6116. Which statement is true relative to effective multiple-choice test items? A. Negative words or phrases need not emphasized. B. Items should call for abstract background knowledge. C. Keep all of approximately equal length. The correct answer is C. In multiple-choice test items, it is generally considered best practice to keep all the answer choices of roughly equal length. This is done to ensure that the length of the options does not inadvertently provide a clue or hint to the test taker about the correct answer. If one answer choice is significantly longer or shorter than the others, it may unintentionally stand out or draw attention to itself. Test takers may perceive the longer option as containing more information or being more comprehensive, leading them to choose it even if it is not the correct answer. Conversely, a shorter option might be perceived as simplistic or insufficient, leading test takers to dismiss it as incorrect. By keeping all the options of approximately equal length, the focus of the test taker remains on the content and meaning of each choice, rather than on the length of the options. This promotes fair and unbiased assessment, as the test taker needs to analyze and evaluate the options based on their merit rather than relying on length as a potential clue. Ultimately, ensuring that the options are of equal length helps maintain the integrity and validity of the multiple-choice test, allowing for a more accurate assessment of the test taker's knowledge and understanding of the subject matter. 6114. Which is one of the major difficulties encountered in the construction of multiple-choice test items? A. Adapting the items to statistical item analysis. B. Keeping all approximately equal in length. C. Inventing distractors which will be attractive to learners lacking knowledge or understanding. The correct answer is C. When constructing multiple-choice test items, one of the major difficulties is creating effective distractors. Distractors are the incorrect answer options that are included alongside the correct answer. Their purpose is to challenge the test taker and differentiate between those who possess the necessary knowledge or understanding and those who do not. In order to construct high-quality multiple-choice items, it is crucial to develop plausible distractors that are attractive to test takers lacking the knowledge or understanding required to select the correct answer. These distractors should be tempting enough to confuse or mislead those who have not grasped the concepts being assessed. However, inventing such distractors can be challenging. The distractors must appear plausible and credible to the test takers, which requires a deep understanding of the common misconceptions or errors that students may have. The distractors should be appealing enough to lead some test takers astray, but not so obviously incorrect that they immediately stand out to knowledgeable individuals. Creating effective distractors often involves careful analysis of common student misconceptions, reviewing student responses to identify common errors, and using expert knowledge in the field to design plausible but incorrect options. It requires expertise in the subject matter being assessed and a thorough understanding of the learner's potential misconceptions. By inventing attractive distractors, the multiple-choice items become more challenging and effective in discriminating between those who have a solid understanding of the material and those who do not. This enhances the validity and reliability of the assessment process. 6115. Which statement is true about multiple-choice test items that are intended to measure achievement at a higher level of learning? A. It is unethical to mislead learners into selecting an alternative. B. Some or all of the alternatives should be acceptable, but only one should be clearly better than the others. C. The use of common errors as distracting alternatives to divert the learner from the correct response is ineffective and invalid. The correct answer is B. This statement reflects a key principle in designing effective multiple-choice test items that measure achievement at a higher level of learning. When assessing higher-order thinking skills, such as analysis, evaluation, and application of knowledge, it is important to provide answer choices that require students to engage in critical thinking and differentiate between plausible options. By ensuring that some or all of the alternatives are acceptable, it prevents the test items from being too obvious or easily guessable. Students must carefully evaluate the options and choose the one that demonstrates a deeper understanding or superior application of knowledge. However, it is equally important to have one answer choice that is clearly better than the others. This helps differentiate between different levels of achievement among students. The presence of a clearly superior choice allows for a valid assessment of students' ability to apply their knowledge and skills at a higher level. 6118. Which type test is desirable for evaluating training that involves an operation, procedure, or process? A. Oral. B. Performance. C. Proficiency. The correct answer is B. When evaluating training that involves an operation, procedure, or process, a performance test is desirable. Performance tests assess the learner's ability to apply their knowledge and skills in a practical or real-world setting. Performance tests typically involve carrying out specific tasks or activities related to the training content. These tests can include hands-on demonstrations, simulations, case studies, or other practical assessments that measure the learner's ability to perform the desired operation, procedure, or process correctly and effectively. By using a performance test, trainers and evaluators can directly observe and assess the learner's application of knowledge, their skills in executing the required steps, and their ability to achieve the desired outcomes. This type of evaluation provides a more authentic and comprehensive measure of the learner's proficiency in applying the training material in real-life situations.